want to actually see us live and in person. Good evening, everybody in social media world. Welcome in Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. You guys, welcome into the hot seat. We have an amazing couple that are here with us tonight. Lady Delpha and Dr. Samuels are in the building tonight. Go ahead and spread this live segment as you guys are coming in. I know Pastor Delpha and Dr. Glenn are going to be sharing this on their platforms as well. So we can get everybody in the building tonight. Y'all welcome in. Super excited to have our incredible couple in the building with us tonight. They have an awesome family doing some powerful things in the South Florida area. So give us just about 30 seconds and we're going to get this party started. Please enjoy our incredible commercial and we'll be right back with you.
Coach P. Koffe Brown and the DFG Publishing House family presents She Chose Him and Screwed Me, 9 Reasons for Her Decision, a brand new anthology project by 9 incredible women. They share with you their reasons as to why they would date one and choose to be married to another. Order your copy today from your favorite author or simply go to www.dfgpublishingtoday.com.
All right, everybody, we are back. Super excited again to have the gorgeous Lady Delpha and Dr. Samuels in the building, looking like little college students in here tonight. So grateful to have the two of you with us. So welcome to the hot seat, you two. It's such an honor to have the both of you here with us. What's going on, Dr. Samuels? Welcome.
It's so good to be here.
Listen, I always have your wife. She's my favorite girl. And so I get an opportunity to be blessed by her presence on a regular basis. And so we're just excited to have you with us.
Absolutely. It's good to be here on the hot seat. And I know we're always on Clubhouse and a lot of the other things that we do together. And it's just an honor to be in your space tonight.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. And Lady Delpha, my girl, she and I bonded. We forged a friendship immediately when we crossed paths in Clubhouse. We were actually so kindred spirits, and I was so excited to have met her. She's such an amazing young lady, just absolutely gorgeous. And I told somebody the other day, I said, listen, y'all have y'all not seen Delpha? You don't know who Delpha is? You ain't seen that? And I was telling somebody about your amazing story and about the wonderful things that you've done, especially in the space of beauty and pageants and all that kind of stuff. And I was just telling somebody, so she's just cuteness for no reason. I mean, she's just unnecessarily cute, honey, just unnecessarily cute. So it's great to have you with your hubby for a change and not with us for other reasons.
Yeah, definitely a treat to have me with the hubby for a change.
Yes.
We always on the Clubhouse streets together on Saturdays. We're on Facebook and Clubhouse, soon to be Twitter.
Yes, we already are on Twitter. We're on Twitter right now.
Twitter,
we're on Twitter. Yeah, we are on Twitter, honey. We out here in these streets doing what we got to do, honey. Listen here.
So we're always together and just working and doing amazing things. And I always say it, I love and honor your ministry. So I'm always honored to share whatever platform it is, whatever topic we're sharing together. I just love to be in your space. So I'm excited about tonight's conversation.
Awesome stuff. So again, everybody in Clubhouse and everybody out in social media world, welcome on in. We are talking with Dr. Glenton, let me say it correctly, Dr. Glenton Samuels and Lady Delpha Samuels. And we're talking about purpose partnerships tonight. Guys, I always do my homework whenever I have these segments. I always do a study to kind of think about before we have our guests on, what does this really mean? What does it mean to have a purpose partnership? What does that look like? Everybody says, I want to be in a relationship. And I always ask people, well, what's the purpose of the relationship? And I don't think people are very clear on that, you two. I don't think they understand purpose for partnerships. So I want you guys to define purpose for us as we dive into the conversation. First of all, introduce yourself. Let everybody know exactly who you are. and what it is that the two of you actually do. So they'll be clear about who you are. And then I want you to answer that question for me, Dr. Samuels. What is it? What does purpose partnership even mean? But go ahead and introduce yourselves, if you will.
Well, good evening, everybody. All of you who are joining in and those who are on, I encourage you tonight to please share this. If you're on whatever social media platform you're tuning in, please share this. If you're on Clubhouse, ping some people in here tonight, and let's just have a good time. So I'm Dr. Clinton Samuels. I am I'm an educator. I am the pastor of Life Changing Anointing of Fort Lauderdale. I'm an author. I am a consultant, a CEO, have a number of different things going on. And I'm also within the fivefold ministry. For those of you who do know, I'm in the office of an apostle and the prelate of the International Apostolic Movement with churches all over the globe, and we're yet growing, and it's just an amazing opportunity to be here tonight. And this is my amazing wife.
Whoop, whoop. That's my buddy, man. That is my buddy right there.
I thought he was going to try to do my introduction. So, well, I am Pastor Delpha, Lady Delpha, the wife, the mom, the sister. I have the privilege of doing ministry alongside this great man. And, you know, as he said, we pastor in Fort Lauderdale area. We have one amazing son, Prince Clinton III. And I'm an identical twin. We are affectionately known as the Barbie twins. So I am also a businesswoman. We have our own cosmetic line, which consists of whatever you are looking for when it comes to do with makeup. We have it in our collection. See, that's why I love Lady Koffe. Lady Koffe got the lipstick, the lip gloss on deck.
Listen here, honey. Listen here. I support my sister, honey. Listen here.
So, you know, we have everything to do with beauty. We have in our line. I'm also a coach, etiquette, pageantry, and a life coach, the director of the Miss Florida Plus America pageant. I just wear so many different hats. I'm a new author of Queen Arise book, which is a 15-day devotional that unlocks the queen within you. And that's just a little bit about me and some of the things that I have going on. I think that I wear so many different hats. It depends on what day it is who I'm the hat that I'm in at the time.
Listen here, I think all of us have multiple hat ministries. We just be rocking and rolling and making it happen out here in these streets, right?
Yes.
So I think all of us have that. But I want to dive right into the topic on tonight. Let me make sure that we have this recorded real quick. So I want to make sure we have this recorded and it's all good. First of all, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I see my friend O is in the building, my girl Jessica, LaWanda, and so many other great faces. Thank y'all so much for tapping in tonight. So I'm going to make sure before Dr. Samuel start giving us these amazing nuggets, which I know he can ready to drop some bombs on us tonight, I'm going to go ahead and make certain that we're live. No, we're not recording. Let me make sure we're recording real quick, and then we're going to get this party started because I'm waiting to see what we're going to learn tonight. All right. So we are recording. All right. So Dr. Samuels, what does it mean to have a purposed partnership? What does that even look like when it comes to a relationship?
So in everything that we have in life, there's a purpose for it. There's a purpose for everything. So you don't have a creation unless you have a need or a purpose. And a purpose partnership or finding that purpose mate, it is being conjoined with one who is intentional about bringing out the best in you, first and foremost. And not only that one that brings out the best in you, but that one who challenges you to be your best self. And I think that's the foundational place. You have a lot of individuals who bring out the worst in you.
My Lord, my
where we end up busting windows out of cars and flattening
watch
all
yourself with my
floors.
song now. Don't watch yourself now, Doctor.
We have unpurposed partnerships, but partnership is finding one who brings the best out of you, who challenges you out of your comfort zone. And you won't have to force your partner to be on the same page, because you have one goal, one mission, and you're working together to complete that particular purpose. And with everything in life, there is a mission. There is a reason why we were put here on the earth. We all have a purpose. We all have a destiny. And when we deal with relationships, or let's go back on the entrepreneurial aspect, and talk about businesses, you have to have a vision and you have to have a mission. And it's so important to know what your mission is, because that keeps you focused and that allows you to push in regards to the purpose or what it is that you wish to attain. Right. And it's the same thing in a relationship. Early on, we created our mission and our purpose, our vision for what it was that we saw, and where we saw ourselves in a particular time, and what our purposes were, and we put that together. Yeah. And that's what a purpose partnership is: taking two lives, two different individuals who are gifted, who are talented, who are anointed, who are full of creativity and vision, and putting that together and creating an empire.
Now, see, that's what I think a lot of people are missing, Dr. Sam, is when they contemplate and consider a relationship, they're not thinking about the big picture. You just gave us a big picture of what the intention of a relationship is in the first place. And then you talked about the mission and the vision, and writing those things out, having those things available for you to be able to go back to when things get rough, when things get challenging, when things don't seem like they're lining up. Hey, this is the mission. This is the vision. This is what we have. It's right here in black and white. We go in, we revise it, we update it. Once we've accomplished this, we're going to add something else to it. Absolutely. If what we thought was going to be what God intended, we might have to pivot a little bit. We're not going to change the vision. We may have to change the steps to get to the vision.
Strategy.
But the vision itself never changes. It's just the execution that has to be adjusted depending on what's going on. And it's funny, I was talking with my publicist today, and I said, I think I might have to pivot a little bit. We were talking about some things that were going on and some things that we were anticipating doing. And I was like, no, I don't know if we might have to, that's still the vision. That's still the mission, but the execution, It looks like we're going to have to do some adjusting with the execution. So thank you for spelling that out for us. Lady Delpha, I want to talk about submission. You know, submission, it means to sub under a mission, to come under a mission. Your husband talked about the mission. He talked about the vision. He talked about all those great things. So how easy or how challenging was it for you to be in the submission? The mission was there, and you're basically vice president of that mission, seeing that vision come to pass. And I think a lot of people get the word submission kind of twisted. Can you help us out with that, Pastor Delph? Because I think some of us are we get a little leery about submission, and we get a little leery about our husband, you know, being in charge of the ship as we're navigating through the waters of life. Can you help us out with that, Pastor? I think we're a little confused, Pastor.
Definitely. You know, it's so unfortunate because, you know, just some experiences, I would say, that a lot of women have had in their lives have caused them to fear submission or feel like submission is slavery, as some say, or submission is losing yourself, or submission is not having a voice, and it's the total opposite. And I think that this topic couldn't be more perfect for really defining or really kind of understanding submission, purpose, partnership. We have to understand as women, yes, we're born to be more than just someone's wife, and that God has given us a purpose. Yes, that is all true, and that is all great. But we have to understand that when we want to be a wife, that we are now connecting to this man, becoming one with this man, and whatever mantle, and I don't want to make it too deep or however, but
go
whatever
ahead, go
mantle
deep. Don't go
is
into the deep waters. It's
on
fine.
this man's life, we now submit to. We now are, joining and becoming the partner, the helpmeet, the person that is helping to push the vision, push the dream, push whatever it is that God has given that man. And I always say this is the beauty about us as women. A lot of times we underestimate and we don't even understand the strength and the power that we have, because we're graced for this, whether we believe it, whether we want to see it or not, or however, we are graced to be able to handle our weight, our children, our businesses, and the weight and the responsibility that comes with submitting now to this man and whatever it is that God has given him to do. So submission really isn't a bad thing. If we understand the truth about submission and what submission is, and we're connected to our purpose partner, not just Joe Blow, not just whoever it is off the street that's just because we just lonely and we just want somebody. When we're connected to the purpose partner, the man that God has for us, we will see our purpose in him. He will see what it is that God has and where God is taking us, even as women. And I don't want to make this so long, but I got to bring this into kind of
bring it up. I got my tea. I got to
bring this into kind of land my plane. I remember, and this is the thing, when the man is leading right and he does it right. I remember when my husband and I first got together, one of the first things he did was sat down with me and he said, he got a piece of paper and he wrote everything that God had placed in his heart for his life and his vision. And on the other side was my name. And I wrote everything that God had placed in my heart and my, whatever it was for me to do. And then we had a space in the middle and we put everything in the middle. And Lord knows it became a very long thing because we both have so much, but we put it in the middle and we merged two different visions and goals into one that he became the head of. That's the part we got to understand. We merged it. These are things that I desire, that I wanted to do, and we brought it together, but he became the head of it and how it was going to get done and how we would work through it. And I'm not saying that I don't have a voice, because Lord knows I'm a very strong, independent woman and I have a mind. And
but I heard that chuckle, Dr. Sam. I'm telling you, I heard that.
I know what I want. I know how I want to do it.
Jesus.
Let's let that simmer for a second. But I understand my place, and this is not taken away from me and who I am, but I understand my place as the helpmeet and as the wife. And I love being a woman. I don't want to be a man. I don't want to wear his pants. I don't want the responsibility that he has. So I stand gracefully as the helpmeet, gracefully as the place I am and who I am as a woman. And I proudly submit to my husband and who he is in my life, and the fact that God has made him the head of our home and our family.
Ooh, honey, listen here. Dr. Samuels, I ain't letting you slide on that. Listen here. Listen here. I heard that chuckle, and I say, listen, I told Pastor Duff one time, I said, I love your husband's chuckle because it says so many things without him saying one word.
I love his chuckle too. He'd be like, Lord, his chuckle is like, Lord, help me, Jesus.
Yeah, he'd be like, yeah.
He knows why, because I ain't going nowhere to fight. If I feel a way, I'm going to say it. But, people, I'm saying, I'm not feeling this. This is not okay. But at the end of the day, he gonna still make his decision, and he gonna say, "This is what we gonna do." But he knows if the person's not feeling it.
I love it here. I absolutely love it here. Dr. Samuel, so I want you to share with us when those times arise and your wife is still your wife, she's still the same loving, incredible woman, but she's apprehensive about a decision that you're believing that God has shared or placed in your heart to do. How's that handled? How do you address that as a man to help her to be able to be not only just comfortable with your decision, but be able to accept it without forcing something on her?
So, with everything that I bring to my wife that is regarded to a shift of our life or something that would here's that word again, pivot, how it is that we're navigating through whether it's ministry, whether it's our home or any area of our life. Before I go to her, I'm making sure that I'm in alignment with what God is saying. So, having said that, if the Lord drops something in my heart, let's go back. Going on about 3 years ago, the Lord instructed me to launch our new church plant. And this is a life, even though I was pastoring, I was actually installed at a church location. And the Lord spoke and said, I want you to birth and I want you to launch this 3 years ago. Now, it was basically uprooting us and taking now my wife, she's a third generational preacher at this point, and she knows what ministry is, especially the birthing process. So when the Lord spoke to me, I knew it was God, but there was a slight apprehension there because I knew what it would require. So before I went to her, I was in prayer and God spoke to me, and this is like weeks now. I'm processing this, and the Lord downloads this message, and now I'm taking this, and I've created something because I know her. I've created a message out of the message, and I've kind of filtered it through so that really there's no easy way to say, listen, God said that it's our time to birth. We're installed at a church. Everything is wonderful. Everything is lovely. And now God says, move, shift, go into a different city and birth. That's not easy to that's not easy. I had already been
now she over there doing what she was doing a few minutes ago.
I had already been 6 years pastoring.
I liked our setup.
Right. We had leadership, we had members, we had people that were there. We didn't have to do it. Everything was already there. I'm installed. Now God says to birth from the ground up. We have no members. We have no, listen, this is from the ground up. So I go and I give her the word. But the thing about God is that when you're in alignment with him, God will send some preparation and send some people to prepare the way before you actually get there.
My God.
And God did that to where her best friend had a dream.
Let me get her on this broadcast.
Her best friend had a dream. and the Lord spoke to her best friend before I got, so he started to chisel while I'm processing the word from the Lord, trying to filter it down to make it honey, even though it's a life-changing decision. I'm trying to filter it down. God was already working in the back end. And the Lord had spoken to her through her best friend and say, listen, I don't know what y'all are trying to do, but and this was like a quick thing. God said that you guys are getting ready to birth something. I see y'all in your own like, and she, it started to it started to come into alignment, even with our spiritual covering. My spiritual covering called me and confirmed it, and said, you know what, this is it. Have you thought about this? And everything was coming into alignment. And that's what happens when you have a purpose mate, because when you got to find somebody that's in tune with the frequency of heaven, and that loves God to that point where, and we when we talk about submission, that's why it's easy for her to submit, because I'm not just I'm when we talk about submission is a deep thing, and you got to give that woman something to submit to. A lot of men are throwing around, hey, I'm the man of the house, I'm the head, I'm the king, but they haven't given that woman anything to submit to. There's nothing to respect. You're the man, but you're at home playing video games all day. You're the man, but you're going out of that covenant, that relationship, and you can't keep your jewels to yourself.
My God.
That when we talk about submission, you give that woman something to submit to. I brought this up because when you deal with the aspect of apprehension or just not knowing, and sometimes she's not in agreement with things that is on my heart, and I kind of filter that through the heart and the eyes of God. And if she is not totally in alignment with something that is in my heart, I completely hear her out. A lot of our issues, especially as husbands, is that we don't want to listen. So communication is dialogue. We always want to be the one speaking, but don't want to be spoken to. And what I immediately do is I open my ears so that I can open my heart and hear the place that she's coming from. And the Bible says, in everything, get an understanding. And listening helps me to get that understanding by which, why is it that she feels so strongly against or not totally in alignment with this thing. And that actually there's so many times, maybe 80% of the time, I end up really coming into the aspect of what it is that she wants, and we meet even closer to what her desire is, because now I have a greater understanding of what it is. And those hard things, or those hard decisions, or those things that are in my heart, I immediately go to God, and I make sure that I'm totally in alignment with God's will for our lives. And usually, almost always, before I go to her, God has already confirmed it, whether it's to her, whether it's through another party, or something of that nature. That's how God deals with us. And I believe that, that's certainly a positive aspect of our marriage, because God constantly shows us that his hand is on us, that he's speaking to us. And because she loves God just as much as me, she's in tune with him. She rests in him, and it doesn't become a burden for her to submit.
So, question for you, Delpha. I know that you and Dr. Samuels, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, both of you had a prior marriage before the two of you crossed paths. And I know, Dr. Samuels, we talked in the room in times past, and you talked about how during that journey, that experience caused some challenges for you after that journey was dissolved, as well as you, Lady Delpha. When you two actually got together, how were you able to make certain that you didn't make the other have to compete with what your past looked like? What were some of the tools and strategies that you two used to keep anything prior from being a part of your current relationship, your current focus, your current moving forward? Because what we find is some people end up bringing a strong part of their past up forward, and they try to push that into the next relationship, and it's really detrimental and dangerous,
Right.
as far as people being not necessarily totally have dealt with, purged out, purged away, however you want to say it, but people have not dealt with the issues of what happened before now, and then they try to reestablish. So what were some of the major things that you guys did individually to really get yourself prepared to be able to step into a purposed partnership? What were some of the things that you did, Dr. Samuels, in your personal space to help you to purge away the old and be ready for the new?
Well, for me, and I love the fact that you said individually,
Yeah.
because it's so important to ensure that before you enter into another relationship, that you work on yourself individually.
Right.
And I had to work on myself coming from a failed marriage. I had to heal. I had to heal and I had to forgive. Those are two words and two attributes that really helped me to process and to be processed. A lot of times we as people, we try to be deep and we say, hey, I need someone to complete me. But the thing is that you need to already be whole before you enter a relationship.
Yes.
Because if if you're in pieces, if you're not already whole, you're not going to be any good for or to yourself or to that person, because you're not whole. You need to go into a relationship completely healed and whole. And the only way that you can be whole is allowing God to really refine you, to show you the areas. And this is where a self-examination is very necessary. Because so many times we highlight the other party and say, this is why we didn't make it, or this is why this situation didn't happen. At that point, I was married to this. I almost thought we were in Clubhouse.
My God.
Wait, so we're still live, right?
We're still live, Dr. Sam.
Okay,
we're on the international airways, sir. We're out here in the international. We're in the international highways and byways. The people can see us, Dr. Sam. They can see us.
So I in my previous marriage, I was married to someone that really was not in alignment with my purpose, and I had to bring that all the way down, but was not in alignment with who God called me to be and what it was that my destiny was. We were going two different and opposite ways. When the Lord, when the divorce happened, I had to heal. A lot of things transpired. A divorce is like a death. So whether or not, some people are happy, some are sad, some are broken, but you have to go through that process of healing and becoming whole and allowing God to really refine and to work on you and to tell you the areas that you need to work on. And I had to do a self-examination. I had to open up the word, read the word, and allow the light to shine down on me. so that I could know what it was that I needed, and I became okay with me. A lot of people, they go from one relationship to another because they're scared of being alone. They're scared of being single, but singleness is not a curse. It is that place that allows you to heal, to be whole, and to really create that purpose for your life, or to walk rather in the purpose for your life. Yeah. And having said that, I was so much in God. I wasn't looking for a wife, where you have men that just go to church just to look for a wife. Mm-hmm. That's their Hobby Lobby. They go out and they, it becomes a it becomes a hobby for them. Mm-hmm. I wasn't looking. I got lost in God. I was okay with being alone. I was okay with being single. And I threw myself at my purpose. I threw myself at what God called me to do. I was in ministry 1000%. I was working for God. And it's the same with Adam. Adam was busy doing what God commissioned him to do. He was busy. He had an assignment. His job was to speak to the ground, to till the ground. If he spoke to it, it came to pass. It grew. If Adam spoke to the earth and said, "Listen, I want bananas," he would get bananas immediately. Everything was perfect. Everything was beautiful. And then God saw that it was not good for man to be alone. And this is the thing. I was okay with being alone, and I healed. And when I was whole, and when I knew I was whole, God brought this beautiful, amazing, immaculate, gorgeous woman in my view. Okay. And I still had to go on the pursuit.
It's the okay for me, honey. Listen here. Dr. Samuel, she said, "Oh, okay then. All right. I see what you're saying, boo."
So he brought her into my pathway, and I saw her, and I knew that, and it doesn't take men a long time to know whether or not he wants to be with that person. I agree. When I understand that every situation is different. There are situations or circumstances that may delay a certain outcome. But if you have a man that's saying, "Listen, I don't know yet," and it's 10 years, then maybe he's not that purpose mate for you. And I saw her, and I went on the pursuit. I went on the pursuit, and she made me work hard. Although I knew, that she was the one for me. She made me sweat a few times.
My God, my God, Pastor Delpha, your husband. Listen. I didn't even know your husband could. I didn't know he had all this stuff in him about relationship.
Listen, he is the relationship.
Listen here, he got a lot to say out here in these streets. We didn't know. I love what you share, and I loved the fact that you mentioned that Pastor Delpha, she required you to pursue her. She required you to pursue her. But you said it doesn't take a man long. So Pastor Delpha, you and I've had this conversation. You shared with us in times past about how you were initially when you actually met your husband. You also shared with us about the fact that had you just said yes, that y'all would have had 5 or 10 little tiny humans running around. Yeah. So I want to ask you, was there one part of you that was all in and another part that was a little bit apprehensive? Or did you not have a clear thought in your mind if he was actually the man after God's heart for you? What happened with the apprehension that you were feeling? Was it from you know,
She
was it
was all out.
disruptive?
No, I was not.
Yeah, was it natural response when a guy tries to connect with you, or do you feel like it was something that was just prohibiting you from feeling safe and comfortable with this particular man?
Well, I can't say that I was all out. The biggest thing for me, I feel like, was um, seeing him, and when I really first our first meeting, there was something there immediately. Like immediately. I think I told you the story of us meeting over the phone. It was something there
Right.
immediately.
It was your mom that told you to call him, right?
My
Wasn't it your
mom had
mom?
me call
Okay.
him, and as soon as he answered the phone,
Let
like
me
it
ask you
was
something.
just.
Do you think that was a setup when your mom had you call him?
I don't think my mom was really thinking of it like that,
Okay.
because
Okay.
it was like our normal thing, because I was my mom's armor bearer. Like that was like my normal job. I called
Okay.
everybody, I dealt with whoever she was, whatever it was, I was the contact person. So I don't think that she purposely did it. I don't think she even thought that my mind was even there, because I was in a place where I was still as well kind of like, I really don't want a relationship. I think I've messed up so many times doing it myself. I need to just be by myself, focusing on building me and being all that God needs me to be, because I just keep messing up. That's how I felt. And when I heard his voice, though, there was just something so, I still can't explain it. Even till this day, he still has that effect on me sometimes, like talking to him, like he just has a part of me. I can't explain it. It's crazy. He just do something to me, you know. But
Listen here, I tell everybody, I said, I'm gonna know my husband by his voice. Because
this is something about the voice. It just do something to me, you know. And I always say that.
I'm with you,
You
daughter.
gotta be careful what you say.
I know what you mean,
You
daughter.
gotta be careful what you say, you know, because I'm like, I need this man to be able to speak to me, God. Speak to
Yes.
me. I just said all kind of stuff, you know, and I'm telling you, he spoke to me, he spoke to my spirit, he spoke to my mind. Like it was just like, but I looked at him and I saw everything that came with him. I'm like, okay, this man is clearly, at the time, he was a bishop already. I'm like, okay, this man is already a bishop. I know that ministry is his life. He is not getting out of this. Yeah, I see this.
He had already signed on the dotted line.
I see this what he gonna do. You know, I'm just being real. I see this what he gonna do.
Right.
I want to do this. You know, and that was the place that I was in. I was okay with serving God. I was okay with just being in ministry and doing my part. But I didn't want to be in the forefront. I didn't want the responsibility of the leadership of the ministry, and just, you know, I'm like you, Koffe. I'm a PK. You know, so it's just.
Don't put me in there and get me in trouble with the Lord. Don't do that.
You know, but so it's the weight of everything that came with him. I was like, God, I love him. Oh my God, I love him so much. But do I want to deal with all of this? Yeah. Is one of the biggest, I think, holdups I had.
She didn't say she loved me so much right away, though.
No,
it was like.
Go ahead, tell her, Dr. Sanders. I heard that chuckle.
She is she done bypassed a whole couple of years.
Okay. This is what happened in all reality. And I think Koffe probably knows this. I think I told her that,
you know, this is an international show, so there's other people that don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
This is what happened. So him and I had become very great friends.
For a whole year.
For a whole year, he was, you know, we were.
Dr. Samuel, you sound like that just did something.
You sound like he's still got a little pettiness, there's a little, you know, there's a little shadiness.
You being a little petty right now, Dr.
I am.
He feel a way about this. I'm telling you, 7 years later, he still feel a way.
Oh bless his heart. You made that man feel some type of way, like this lady didn't put me through all of this.
Well, you know, I really just was like, you know, and it's so funny. We had become best friends. He's the only man that I've ever called a best friend, that was a best friend to me. Like we spoke, the first person I spoke to in the morning, the last person I spoke to at night. We talked all through the day about anything and everything. Like we really had a very close relationship as friends before something romantic even, well, for me, because he was already telling me, you know.
He was already romantic. He
like, listen, I'm marrying you.
This is my woman right here. She's tripping.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna marry you. That was pretty much what he was saying, you know. And so I I'll never forget it. I was on the phone with my mother, and my mother said, "Listen to me. He's a great man, and he will make someone else an amazing husband. If you don't love him more than a friend, then you need to let him go." So I'm like, "Well, okay then. All right, mommy." My mom, she ain't the one. I said, "Okay then." So I hung up, and I'm driving down the street, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to call him right now." And as I'm driving down the street, I begin to think about him with a family, with a wife, with children, with someone else.
And then you felt some type of way.
And the tears started rolling down my face slowly. And it was like hot, warm tears, like just rolling down my face, and to the point where I started
like,
sobbing.
Lord, he gonna be with somebody else if I don't act right, Lord.
Like I was like hyperventilating, losing it. I had to pull over how much I was crying. And I immediately picked up the phone. I just called him, and he's like, "Hello." And I was just like, "I love you." And he's like, "Oh, what?" And I was like, "More than a friend, like not as a friend, like love you, in love, like to be with you, to marry you." And he's like, "What?" And I just hung the phone up. It was too much. Like, Mom, I was like, "This is a lot." I just hung up. And he was like, blow my phone up. I'm like, "I can't. This is too much." My whole life.
I love you.
I'm like, "I just need a minute right now. This is like my whole life, And when I finally spoke to him later on that night, he wasn't playing with me. He's like, "Listen, no, are we together? Because I don't have time for this. Are we together?" I'm like, "Wait, I just told you I love you. Now it's just so much." Listen, that was it. The next month he proposed to me. He said, "You got till the end of this year, December. You got till December 31st. If we don't do it by then, we ain't doing it." And I was like, "Well, let me just go on ahead and marry again, because I know I ain't go. It ain't nothing. This is it for me." So yeah.
Look, he said, "You already got me right here, waiting and longing and hoping and dreaming."
Come here, Mike Jones. Back then, you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. You all. Can I get a witness? I can't get no help in here.
You was always hot. It was just
God help us in here.
He's talking about some back then you didn't want me.
I never said I didn't want him. I just,
Lord have mercy.
And that's the thing. A lot of times as women, we go through so much, and God sends that man. The man comes, and we can easily allow just things that are so irrelevant, things that are just crazy, to stop us from happiness, and I thank God for my mother, because eventually, who knows how would have come, or how, but I thank God for my mother for seeing that I needed that push, like, "Girl, stop being crazy." And sometimes we're so hurt, we go through so much in our lives. A lot of times I say to myself, I really feel like it was probably fear. It was probably so many different things besides ministry that had me in that place, and I didn't touch on this, but he was talking about his process after being divorced. One of my biggest things was having to forgive myself, having to forgive myself for have made such a mistake, had put myself in the position that I was in, and had allowed myself to go through what I had gone through, that I almost felt like he was too good to be true. Like, like I would marry him, and then he would become someone else, and everything that he was showing me would no longer exist once he got me, so that's why I always make the joke. I'm like, God, I wish I would have said yes a long time ago. We would have about, we had all time.
A bunch of little tiny humans would have been running around. Look, a bunch of little Glens
running around, but I had to go through that process, and I'm grateful that I did go through the process, and because it led us to this place. So I thank God for, the way it happened and how God allowed it to happen, still in spite of all my craziness.
I love it. Dr. Sam is like, you ain't want me. You trying to front.
No, he tell everybody that she want me.
She didn't even want to holler at me, man. I was doing what I
wanted an athlete. Is what she wanted. She
wanted what, Dr. Sam?
She wanted an athlete.
Oh, did you want an athlete there?
Yeah, I was like, I'm marrying an athlete. If I got to do this again, at least let me have some cash. Like, I was just, hurt and talking crazy. And I remember he called me.
I went to school, so I didn't have to.
Mighty God,
I just wasn't. I
love y'all. Y'all are hilarious. This is what I love, because you guys, we have literally been rolling together for a good 8-9 months, maybe. It's been a while since earlier this year. And I've never actually seen the two of them in the same place at the same time. And I'm just loving how they're communicating. And I'm looking at his eyes. I'm looking at her eyes. I'm looking at how he's looking when she speak. And I'm looking at how she's looking when he speak. And he looking over there like, yeah. All right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. So let me ask you this, Dr. Samuels, knowing that you had to deal with some challenges as far as her actually getting to that space to say, I want him past a friendship. What was going on in your mind? How were you feeling about the process? Was there ever a time where you said, I don't even know if I really want to keep pursuing her? Maybe she's not who I believed she was. Was there ever a time that you felt discouraged about the process?
So with me, I can't say that I was discouraged. I can say that I was up for the challenge. I love challenges. I was up for the challenge, and she gave me one heck of a challenge.
It wasn't that bad.
Yes, so she gave me a challenge, and the thing is that one of my strong points is patience. It isn't hers.
No, I have no patience at all.
But it is mine.
He is like so patient.
It is a virtue. So I realized that there were layers that needed to be peeled back. And over time, as time progressed, those layers started coming down and coming down and coming down. And I was able to really understand that she had been wounded. She had gone through all of the discouragements of relationship. Prior to being married, she had given this man everything. She coming into that first marriage, she was still a virgin. All of those things. We had to peel every one of those layers back. And I knew that she was the one. And it took patience. So I can't say that I was discouraged. I can say that I did put in some work, though. But it was certainly worth the wait. But I knew that she was the one, and that I think that's the intricate part of the whole thing. I knew that she was the one, and men know when you have found the one. I bore witness that this was my rib, that she was. I did not want to do life without her, and when you find that one, you will. What is the song? I will swim the ocean for right. So
all right. I will bring yes.
You will do whatever it is that you need to do.
Yes.
In order to get that prize. And if we want to go biblical, I press towards the prize for the high calling. Whichever way you go, there's a prize that's coming. And it may.
He can't help it. He can't help it.
Yes, but I won't say that I became discouraged, but it took a lot of just resting in God, being patient, and a lot of understanding. I was determined to understand where she was at that particular moment, and every time she crossed over a barrier, I was determined to understand where she was at that moment. And we started to take these steps together.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. You have done a great job of pursuing. And I would love for you to help the children, the sons and daughters of Zion, to understand what's going on with the Pursuit Ministries. And I
Oh
love it
my.
because she wasn't so far removed that you couldn't see a future. And that's what I love about what you just said. I clearly
He
understand that
gave me
at the
enough.
yeah, she gave you enough.
Yes.
She left the door cracked. So
Right.
you knew the door was cracked. You just had to knock that door off the hinges, is what it
Had to
translated
blow
into.
it up because
Listen here, it's the blow up of me.
it was hotched or something. That door wasn't like it was there was a stopper or something.
There was
That
no
door
stop.
wasn't
I love
door
it.
wasn't
I
budging.
absolutely love it.
I
You like somebody put somebody. It was the little chain. Remember the little chain on the door? The
right.
door was cracked, but I saw the chain. I was like, "Oh, you playing, man? You got the door
Right.
open. Make you think it's open. It's a chain on that door." I love it.
Ah,
I love it. Well, listen, social media family, we've come to the top of the hour and we've been here with our amazing, incredible couple. We don't want to prolong the time with them because they do have a tiny human at home. And so I know they do have to deal with that. And it's pretty late where they are. So if you guys want to hear more about these two incredible beings, you can tap into Clubhouse with us. We do have a club. It is my brand name, Koffe's
yes.
Corner, and also my name, P. Koffe Brown. You can head over to Clubhouse and tap into the room where we are. And we're getting ready to cross over into there for about another 15, 20 minutes or so before we actually close out for the night. But guys, thank you so much for being here. This has been an incredible conversation with these two. I don't even know what to call y'all no more. I'm gonna just call y'all the winning team. I'm just call y'all the winning team. So just in case anybody wants to know more information about the two of you, how they can connect to you, how they can get to know you two better, and is there anything that they can do to actually get plugged into you? Both of you mentioned that you're authors. And so we definitely want our community to be able to tap into those publications. So how can they get to know you? How can they find out where you are and be able to tap into the two of you?
So on social media, on all social media platforms, my personal handle is I am Dr. Samuels. You plug that in on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of the social media outlets, and you can find me. I have a new book, Greater Than When Purpose Meets Destiny. To purchase that, you can go anywhere books are sold, or go on my website, samuelsllc.com, and you'll be able to purchase that book.
Awesome, awesome. And Delpha, I remember that you had a publication that came out as well. And I
Yes.
just want to know how they can be able to pick that up and how can they connect with you?
So my new book, Queen Arise, can be purchased via my website, delphasamuels.com. Also, you can connect with me, my social media outlets with on Instagram, Clubhouse, as well as Twitter is at Queen Delpha, and on Facebook, I am at Delpha Samuels.
Awesome, awesome. So when we get ready to go off the air for tonight, they'll be able to put that information in the chat for you guys to be able to connect with them with their website and the information that they just shared on their publication. So thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. This has been I don't even know how to explain it, but I really have enjoyed it immensely. Having the two of you on with us has been a huge blessing. And I know the community has been totally blessed by having your presence here with us. So we want to say thank you for that. This has been sponsored by 10K Cards. My business card is not popping up for some weird reason, but this segment has been sponsored by 10K Cards. It is the wave of the future for contactless communication. So go to coffee10k.com and grab your card today. When you go to coffee10k.com, you'll be able to see what the card looks like and the value that it can add to you. It is a contactless business card, but it is on steroids. It's Linktree on steroids, okay? Like literally Linktree on steroids. So go to coffee10k.com and grab that today. Also, I showed you guys this at the top of the hour, but this is a lippy from the beautiful Contour Lips by Delpha and Delarice. These are the twin sisters, and this is their beautiful. You see how gorgeous that is? Absolutely gorgeous. I just love it. So this is a lip gloss. I have it in my studio, my downstairs studio. I have another one upstairs in my up studio. So whenever I need to freshen up and, just kind of get that gloss right, I've used that. So I love, love, love it. And also they have those products as well for beauty. And also I'm talking about Dr. Delpha. Lady Delpha, she does coaching as well. We found that out on the segment of Beauty in the Bible this past weekend that she does etiquette coaching. So definitely tap into her for those services and for pageantry. And those are some things that she's an expert in. I tell you what, she's been doing pageants for a very long time. She can definitely help you to tap into that market and know what it is that you need to do to be successful in that arena. All right, guys. So thank y'all again for being here in the hot seat. Next Tuesday, we have a brand new author who is just releasing her publication. It is called Transition. Crystal Sauls is a newly published author with our publishing house, DFG Publishing House LLC, and she just came on board with us, and we're going to be releasing her project, her first solo project, next Tuesday. So tap in next Tuesday. We're going to be interviewing her about her new project and what she's up to. And we're going to be back here in the hot seat on next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, with more amazing communication and content. Everything we do is about relationships. We have to be able to relate to each other in every way, shape, or form. I am accepting new coaching clients. You can tap into me and find out more at coffee10k.com. Or if you're in the market to publish a book, hit me up. I'm here to add value and get you all set up. All right. So we're heading over to Clubhouse, and you guys can tune in with us there. If not, good night, everyone. Thank you guys for being a part of the hot seat. We really enjoyed having you guys present with us tonight. And so we had an amazing time with Dr. and Lady Samuels. This is my favorite couple of the year. This is my favorite couple of the year. I have a favorite couple every year. They make couple of the year, y'all. They're my favorite couple of the year. Thank y'all again so much for being here, Dr. Glinton and Lady Delpha. We appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you, Coach Koffe. We appreciate you, and we love you dearly. Thank you so much.
Love y'all too. Thank y'all so much for being here. Good night, everybody. Grace, peace, and blessings be unto you and your families, and we'll see you all next week for another edition of the Hot Seat.
Coach P. Koffe Brown and the DFG Publishing House family presents She Chose Him and Screwed Me, 9 Reasons for Her Decision, a brand new anthology project by 9 incredible women. They share with you their reasons as to why they would date one and choose to be married to another. Order your copy today from your favorite author, or simply go to www.dfgpublishingtoday.com.